Well, college football is back, and so am I. It's time to count down the top 5 of the week for the first week of the 2013 season. Call it the luck of the Irish, but I think I'll call it the talent of Tommy Rees. The Notre Dame quarterback started the season with phenomenal numbers, passing for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Irish have high expectations this season, coming off a loss in the national championship game to Alabama last year. Ending the season on a loss should do nothing but build momentum for the next season, and it appears that this is the case for the Irish. Beating the Temple Owls 28-6, Notre Dame now needs to focus on next week's primetime game versus the Michigan Wolverines in an always anticipated battle. Are we starting to see the demise of the Boise State era? For the past few years, the Bucking Broncos have continually impressed football fans with successful seasons and bowl game victories. But yesterday's lackluster performance made me feel embarrassed for the blue and orange. The Washington Huskies prevailed over the Broncos in a 38-6 victory, and quarterback Keith Price became the all-time leader for career touchdowns at Washington. The Huskies were looking for revenge after losing to the Broncos in last season's Las Vegas Bowl by a mere 2-point deficit. Well, they came, they saw, and they easily conquered, making the Broncos look like malnourished horses from some farm in Idaho. Boise State has a lot of work to do before they become a contender in the rankings this year, and I'm not sure even that will be enough to make them shine like they have in years past due to lack of strength in their schedule. As far as the Huskies go, they can mush their way into the rankings with continuous performances like yesterday. Well, it's known that week 1 for most teams means you face an opponent that should be an easy victory. It's a chance for teams to prove their dominance, to come out with a bang, to show the rankings who's boss. Well, Oregon did just that. Sure, they played Nicholls State, an FCS team whose only score came from a field goal in the second quarter. But Oregon did what every ranked team in the top 5 should do in week 1. Dominate, devastate, and blow the other team away. I'm usually impressed with the Ducks' ability to have multiple players produce high numbers on the field, and it appears that this season will be no different. Heisman contender Marcus Mariota had 234 yards passing in just 3 quarters played, and he joined DeAnthony Thomas and Byron Marshall in the 100-plus yards rushing club yesterday. The Ducks, as usual, will face multiple ranked opponents this season, and with new coach Mark Helfrich holding the reins, I think the Ducks will have a quacking good year. Well, it's a good thing the state of Oregon didn't leave it to the Beavers yesterday, because 25th ranked Oregon State couldn't handle the pressure from the mighty Eastern Washington Eagles, losing 49-46. Clearly, defense wasn't the name of the game in this battle, but Eastern's quarterback Vernon Adams was. He had 4 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns, allowing the Eagles to soar past the Beavers in a victory that will haunt Oregon State this season and for years to come. 2 words come to mind: Appalachian State. The Eagles are only the 3rd FCS team to ever beat a ranked FBS team, and it's very unlikely that we'll hear about Eastern Washington again this season, but they had their moment where they made us all want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Do 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 do. Georgia and Clemson wasted no time in participating in a battle of top 10 teams. This week 1 matchup was guaranteed to be a good game, and it was just that, as the Clemson Tigers held on to beat the Bulldogs in a 38-35 victory. This game included a 75-yard touchdown by Georgia's Todd Gurley and a 77-yard touchdown pass to Clemson's Sammy Watkins thrown by quarterback Tajh Boyd. Did I mention that all that happened in the first quarter? Boyd finished the game with 270 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, which could mean his name will be on the tongues of Heisman watchers everywhere this season. Clemson was a force to be reckoned with, proving that the Tigers are here to stay this season. With Boyd in the top spot for the Tigers, they should easily prevail as ACC champions. I think they should start playing Katy Perry's song Roar on repeat for motivation in the locker room. Well, that's my top 5 for the week. See you next time on The AJ Way.